Hey you guys, it's rowisingh here. So today I transformed myself into Dua Lipa. She's such an icon. Obsessed with every single one of her looks, but this one in particular, done by Nicki Makeup, I feel like is just so beautiful and I really wanted to recreate it for you guys. So if you want to see how I turn myself into Dua Lipa, then just keep watching. So I feel like the key to recreating this look is good skin, really long hairy eyebrows that are just like reaching for the stars, and then also really long eyelashes. Since my skin is like a tiny bit tainted, I've got a bit of scarring on my cheek, my eyelashes aren't that long, and neither my eyebrow hairs, we're going to create that illusion with makeup. So what I want to do first is apply my primer. I'll be using Laura Mercier's Radiance primer. Literally one of my favorite primers ever because I feel like my Fenty foundation clings to it so well and it provides like a really nice healthy glow. Then I'm going to go in with my By Terry Brightening Serum. Also such a good product for just elevating your glow because it has a really nice rose tint to it and it really just brightens your face and makes you look, again, like you've had like 20 hours of sleep. Before I go in with my foundation, I'm just going to spot conceal where I have discoloration. So I'm going to use Fenty Beauty's Pro Filter Concealer. This is in the shade 290, which is the same shade as my foundation color. Next order of biz is foundation. So I'm going to add 3 pumps of my Fenty Pro Filter foundation in 290 directly onto my buffing brush. And to make sure I don't look too muted and matte, I'm going to add a couple of drops of KORRES Wild Rose Oil also directly onto the brush because when I buff that into my skin, it's going to give me a really nice healthy glow. So I've just dotted it around my face just so the product spreads around quite easily. So I buff around the edges of my face like this, but when it comes to under the eye, I press it and stipple that into my skin. Being mindful, this is my winter shade and I've been wearing it all through summer because literally cannot be bothered to buy another foundation. Honestly, it's not too bad. I feel like once Fenty actually settles down, it oxidizes and then it becomes a little bit more matched to my skin tone. So because I've added those droplets of wild rose oil, I've still got hints of a glow, like it's not completely mattified, and I really like that. I like being able to infuse my own glow into my skin that doesn't look oily. So this is key. I'm gonna go back to my reference photo of Dua Lipa because her brows are wild. I mean, damn, that is like some long brow hair. My brow hairs just do not grow like that at all, and sadly they don't grow up. They grow downwards in every other direction. Like, it's really frustrating. But like I said, we're gonna fake it till we make it. So to start off, I'm gonna use my Gimme brow just to tint those hairs and to brush them up in the right direction. I feel like this look is gonna require a lot of Gimme brow. Like, this is just the first layer. I feel like it's gonna be so much more to come. I'm actually going against the grain, so I'm like pushing them, like I'm literally forcing these brow hairs to stand on all ends. That's a bit better. I'm going to move on to 24-hour brow setter, and I'm going to use the side of the brush to wet the hairs first. Then I'm going to pivot the brush and use the actual combed edge, and I'm just going to brush that through. See how all these hairs are standing on edge, but at the very beginning there, it's like nothing's really happening. I need to fake those hairs with Precisely My Brow. This is in the shade 6. So I'm going to use small little flicking motions just to fill that in. And especially when it comes to the beginning of the brow, I'm really going to lighten that touch and just flick upwards so I can create false little hairs. I feel like what I've done here, I've created these like extra long brow hairs. So I'm just going to go in and buff those away. Now I'm just going to go in with a little bit more Gimme brow just to fill that out. Just need to shape it out a little bit more in the outer corner. You can see that fullness come through compared to the other brow, like hello. So I'm going to catch up the other brow real quick. So I'm pretty happy with how it's looking so far. They're looking quite thick and caterpillar-like. So I'm going to go in with my Shape Tape and a nice like angled brush. I'm going to carve out the underside of my brow. So I've got Shape Tape in the shade Light Medium. And I'm going to dip in just a little bit, get a bit of the product on the end of the brush. And then I'm just going to run that concealer just along the base of my brow and using a couple of downward strokes to blend that all the way down to my lid. Taking my buffing brush as well just to sort of pat that into my skin and blend it in. I went a little bit overboard with the concealer and I got a tiny bit in my brow. So I'm just going to cover that and fill it in a little bit more. Finally, I'm just going to secure it once again with brow setter because I just looked at the reference photo again and I noticed that her brows look wet. They look gelled. So I really want to amp up that 24-hour brow setter. This thick, bushy look is giving me all the life right now. I kind of love it. I know I saw a couple of comments being like, oh, her brows are so bushy, yada yada yada. Like, I love it when the brow hairs are living their best lives. All right, moving on, going back in with Shape Tape and a nice damp beauty blender. I'm going to dot that Shape Tape under my eyes and just blend that out. Gonna highlight the bridge of my nose as well. This is literally the extent of my nose contouring. I don't do anything else. I don't really like nose contouring. I used to do it all the time and I was like, what am I doing? I don't care that much about having a really like slim, snatched nose. And then going back over everything with my buffing brush, just so everything looks a bit blended in, nothing too crazy. I'm gonna slightly conceal my lids just to prep them for the eyeshadow and make them a little bit brighter. In all honesty, I think we've already surpassed the hardest bit, which were brows. The eyeshadow actually looks really easy. It just looks like one brown smoky eye, which we can do. I do have options, so if you don't have the exact palette I'm using, do not worry, because I think all you need is just like a nice brown shadow. So I'm going to be using Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette. It smells like chocolate, like it's so good. And it has these brown tones here. We've got Cocoa Truffle and So Bougie, which is like a lighter brown, and then more of like a chocolatey, darker cocoa colored brown. I feel like this is an accurate color palette to match my eyes to Dewars. Now, if you don't have this palette, do not worry. I have some alternatives just in case. So, drugstore option, I've got Rimmel's Magnif'eyes palette, Crimson Edition. At the end here, we have these brown tones that I feel like would work quite well as well. I'm pretty sure not many people have this, but if you do, it's the KKW Mario palette, and it also has these really nice brown tones here. Gingerbread, Too Faced Gingerbread palette, another good one, also brown tone. Look, honestly, you can use any brown chocolatey cocoa tone that you have. Like, it's not that big of a deal to use the exact same one. So my preference is chocolate gold. I'm going to use this palette. I might use a bit of Rimmel as well. So I'm going to take my Real Techniques crease brush. I'm going to go straight in with Cocoa Truffle and just buff that into my crease and blend that out. And then just softening that with a blending brush like this. I feel like the brown on my eyes is a little too chocolate brown and I need it to be a little bit more caramel brown. So I've got Rimmel's Magnif'eyes Spice Edition palette, which I feel like might be a little bit more accurate. So these shades have more of a rusty feel to them. I feel like that will work a little bit better. I'm gonna go in with this one right here and buff that into my crease. That is a lot better. It has a bit more of a warmer tone to it. And it actually looks really, really nice blended in with the Cocoa Truffle color from the Too Faced palette. So I'm liking the fact that I've layered these colors now. I'm gonna go a little bit more rusty and use this shade right here and start to buff that into the inner corner of my eye as well. And don't forget to just buff and smoke it out so it looks nice and soft. So taking the brush and just tucking it under the brow bone and really defining that crease, I feel like it just makes your eye look so much bigger and wider. I'm gonna take a precision brush using that same color and I'm gonna start to bring that under the eye as well. So I'm dipping back into Cocoa Truffle from Too Faced because I want the outer edges of my eye to be a little bit darker, a little bit more smoked out. So we're going to go back in, create a little bit more definition, and especially just under my eye on the outer corner, I want it to be a little bit darker, just to really smoke it out, make it look a little sultry. So what I'm going to do next is apply just a really thin line of eyeliner on my top lid. I'm going to go in with Kat Von D's Tattoo Liner and just work that along my lash line. No wings or anything, just keeping it nice and subtle. Now I've got these very voluminous lashes from Flutter Lashes Inc. and they're in the style Ashley, and I like these because they're just so long and so cute, and yeah, they make your eyes look really big as well. So using my Duo Lash Glue, I've just applied a thin layer to the band. Then I'm going to curl my eyelashes and add a little bit of mascara. So I'm clamping that lash in the middle with my fingers and I'm going to place it as close to my natural lash line as possible and just clamp it down. For the inner corner, I normally use tweezers just to stick that down. This next part bamboozles me because her bottom lashes are so long. How are they that long? Are those extensions? I don't know, but I've got these little individual lash extensions that I might use and just place them along my bottom lash line, maybe 3 or 4, and just space them out a little bit. Not sure how that's gonna look. I feel like it might look a little crazy and not very natural. I'm gonna pop a bit of mascara on my lower lash line first to see how that looks, and then we might add lash extensions to the bottom lash line, but I really hope I don't have to. So I'm just gonna use my Nars Climax mascara, and I'm going to coat those lashes big time. I'm fairly happy with how that looks, so I'm going to keep it like that and not add lash extensions because I feel like that just might complicate things. So I'm going to add some contour because her cheeks look super, super defined and she's got a bit of blush in there as well. So I'm going to go in with Benefit's Cheerleader Bronze Squad palette. And I'm going to use Hoola to start off with, and then a little bit of Hoola Caramel just to darken my cheekbone and emphasize the contour even more. It doesn't seem like she has too much highlighter on, just on the tip of the nose. I'm going to take a little bit of Cookie from Cheerleaders and just brush that very gently on the tip of my nose, and then a little bit on the bridge, and then really lightly just run that on my cheekbones, nothing too crazy. I'm going to take some blush, Nars Orgasm, and just rosy that onto my cheeks just a little bit as well. Now, in the photo, it looks like she's wearing something a little bit more pinky nude, but I'm going to go for something a little bit more browny nude, only because I know that's going to suit my skin tone. This is Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink in Seductress, but I know for sure that this doesn't suit me. It just comes out a little bit light. That's what it looks like though. Like, pretty good match. Just on my lips, it doesn't look that great. So I'm going to go in with Maybelline 560, literally my go-to nude lipstick. I'm obsessed with this one. I like to use a lip brush because it helps to define the edges of my lips and makes it look super neat, especially when you're using a traditional lipstick and it doesn't have an applicator. And for the finishing touches, a tiny bit of highlighter on the Cupid's bow. Now, upon closer inspection, it looks like she's got a bit of white eyeliner in her waterline. So I'm going to take Kat Von D's Cake Pencil in white and just pop that in my waterline too. So that's the makeup side of things done. I did get a little bit of a head start on the hair, so I just straightened it and then just tucked it behind my ears and secured it with a little bit of VO5 gel. I'm just gonna go back over it just to straighten it a little bit more, make it look a little bit more slick. Got a couple of flyaway, so I'm just gonna secure it with my VO5 gel spray. I'm gonna take a little bit more of my VO5 gel and just slick that down. Alright you guys, this is the final look. I tried to get it as close as possible to Dua Lipa's look. Done by Nicki Makeup. She's so incredibly talented. Her looks are so ethereal, beautiful and gorgeous. So I highly recommend you following Nicki Makeup if you don't already. I never ever do wearable looks, so lap this up. I feel like you could wear this to your formal, to a date, to a wedding, whatever you feel. I feel like it's just a nice, subtle, glowy, smoky brown eye. Anyway, my loves, don't forget to subscribe, pop the notifications on, etc. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!